Welcome to our tutorial on custom bracketing. Custom bracketing is a feature of the CameraRC Deluxe Professional Edition. Custom bracketing differs from other bracketing methods in that it allows setting any combination of shutter speed, aperture, and sensitivity, or ISO, for each shot in the bracket, and there's no limit on the number of shots for the bracket sequence. A limiting factor in custom brackets is that they only work with manual exposure mode. To start working with custom brackets, select Custom from the Bracketing Mode control. This then updates the display to show the available custom bracket controls. When shooting custom brackets, the single shot bracketing is always enabled, and all shots in the bracket will be taken as a continuous sequence of shots automatically. Custom brackets are controlled by settings that are stored in custom bracket files. A custom bracket file is loaded by clicking on the file selector and locating the desired custom bracket file. Here we open the sample file Eclipse that is provided with the program. Custom brackets rely on the settings of two controls on the metering and exposure tab. The controls that are used are the ISO sensitivity step and the EV steps exposure control. Note that these two controls are not available on all camera models. Some have just the EV steps exposure control, and some older camera models, like the D40, have neither of the controls. All camera models that include the aforementioned controls provide settings of 1/3 and 1/2 EV step. Some of the more advanced models will also include steps of 1 stop. To ensure compatibility between different camera models, use the 1/3 EV setting for both controls, as all camera models support the 1/3 EV setting. If the custom bracket file uses an EV setting that is not compatible with the camera attached, then the custom bracket file will not be usable. The Create Custom Bracket button opens a custom bracket dialog used to create new custom bracket file or to edit an existing file. Once opened, an existing custom bracket sequence can be edited or an existing sequence cleared so that a new one can be started. The settings available vary depending on if the preset for the control is checked or not. If the preset is not checked, then the settings of the shutter speed, aperture, and ISO are the same as the settings available on the camera. When the preset is checked for a control, then a relative EV value can be set. The EV value is relative to the value of the control that is set at the time the bracket sequence shooting is started. For example, if the camera is set to f8 and an EV value for the aperture is -1 EV, then the aperture will be set to 5.6. Now I will add some bracket shots to the sequence. Notice that I am not using any after shot delay, but if desired, there can be a delay of 1 or more seconds added after any shot. I will also add a comment that applies to the entire sequence and is for reference. The Add button is used to add the shot to the custom bracket sequence. As shots are added to the sequence, they appear on the list to the right. We'll go ahead and add several more shots to the sequence. As I add additional shots, I'll be changing the exposure value or the shutter speed so that we can see how we can make changes to the shots in the shot sequence. Once we are done adding shots, we can go back and modify a shot by selecting the shot in the window. Once we've selected the shot, we can go and then make a change. Once changed, just press the Modify button to save the changes. The position of a shot in the list can also be varied by selecting the shot and then using the Move Up and Move Down controls to move the shot to a new position in the list. Finally, you can delete a shot that's in the list by selecting the shot in the list and clicking the Delete button. Once the custom bracket sequence is completed, The Save or Save As button is used to open the Save dialog and save the custom bracket sequence. Provide a name for the file in the Save dialog and press the Save. Only the name of the file appears in the Custom Name field. When done creating or editing a custom bracket, use the Exit button to return to the main program area. As mentioned at the beginning of the tutorial, in order to shoot a custom bracket sequence, make sure the exposure mode is set to manual. Depending on the camera model, you may need to make the change at the camera itself by moving the exposure mode control. If shooting with a preset control, make sure to set the shutter speed, aperture, or ISO to the desired starting value. To start a custom bracket sequence, press the Shutter Release button on the main control panel of the program. Notice now that as the shots are taken, you can see the values of the camera being changed to coincide with the changes in your custom bracket sequence. If a custom bracket sequence is in progress and you want to stop the shooting, press the Stop Custom Bracket button to stop the sequence and reset to the first shot. If you want to shoot the custom bracket sequence multiple times, set the bracket repeat to the desired value. You can see the total shots vary as the repeat is changed. This concludes the CameraRC Deluxe tutorial for custom bracketing.